Hey everybody, it's so good to see you. My name is Eugénie. I am a life coach, of course, and my mission is to support you with your joy and fulfillment on this beautiful planet. And I have a hot topic for you today. Yes, I happen to also be a core energy coach, which means that as a coach, I help my clients figure out more awareness around their default so that they know how they're operating throughout the day, so that they can choose in a way that is more empowering, so that they can experience higher life satisfaction. So what I mean by that is we fluctuate throughout the day during different energy levels. Sometimes we feel guilt that we made a mistake and we ruminate it and we can't let it go. So that would be like a catabolic low level of energy. And my job is to help my client release the blocks that keep them trapped down there so that can move into a space of joy and purpose and confidence and connectivity and just experience a life of purpose and fulfillment. So tonight's topic, I'm smiling because I think it's great because it really is something that happens, I think, to everybody. And the word gaslighting is actually quite fascinating. I'm also a language teacher by trade, and I find that words and definitions really resonate with me and help me reach out to my clients and also make connections with them. So what is gaslighting? If you'll allow me, I'm going to look at the definition that I have right here on my computer. And it says that it is a form of psychological abuse or manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self-doubt and confusion in their victim's mind. Typically, gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control over the other person by distorting reality and forcing them to question their own judgment and intuition. This speaks to me. So obviously, in my metaphor for today, there's no actual other person that is doing this to you. Well, maybe, but in this case, I'm really going to go with something that we call in coaching an energy block. So that's something that keeps you from raising up to your energy levels where you feel good and joyful and purposeful and confident and healthy. You're trapped into a space of guilt and confusion and rumination that you should have done something, you should have said something, you did it wrong, and so you're trapped in this energy level. And we have an energy block called the Gremlin in coaching. And the Gremlin actually has a purpose, and it comes from usually people's childhood. We all grow up with very much different realities, different people, different experiences that have created a lens on how we see the world, right? So if you had a mom who said, no, boys can do this, but you're a girl, you better stay home and do that, then that's the way you're going to perceive the world, right? So we all have these sets of filters and they're absolutely normal. And also based again on perhaps some traumatic event in your childhood or in your young adulthood, then the gremlin is there to tell you to play it safe. That's its job. Because in the world of humans, there's nothing more scary than being ostracized, than making a fool out of yourself and being excluded from society, being excluded from a group, being made fun of. It is terrifying. And that's why nobody likes to speak in public, because who wants to do that, right? So the gremlin is that inner voice, that little inner critic that we all have, even coaches such as myself, except I know how to deal with it now, but it's still there. Yep, it's still there. And that little inner voice that says, don't try that. Because if you try that, you're going to fall flat on your face and it's going to be super embarrassing. So just play it safe. So it does have a purpose. Your gremlin does. Its job is to protect you from embarrassment and failure. And it's very much ego-based, right? But unfortunately, that gremlin is not serving you. So the gremlin is my psychological abuser or manipulation when you want to try to do something new. And you try to venture into more joy or a project that you've been wanting to do for such a long time and you have not, right? And if you ask yourself that question, why haven't you? And just think about it. And how does that come up in your body? You're like, you want to, but there's like this little resistance going on. And that voice is like, no, that's just too much. That's too big. That's too beautiful. That's too amazing. That would bring me so much joy. I wouldn't even know what to do with it because I've never had that before. So that gremlin is that inner critic, the one that says, no, you shouldn't do that. That's just crazy. You just cruise control, live your life the way it is right now. It's just fine. But you know it's not fine, right? And so you're being held back by this voice that says, if you do this, you're going to mess up your life. If you do this, you're going to be an embarrassment. And so that voice, that inner critic, is the reason why so many people don't venture into the unknown and don't try to do something new. And it's also the reason why I'm calling it a psychological abuse, because it keeps you from actually moving into this new space. And it sows this doubt in your mind and in your soul, especially, that you can't do something. So it basically distorts what you're able to actually do, because trust me, human beings are infinitely powerful. Everyone on this planet is on their own unique journey, and we all have very special different gifts. And so when that little inner critic kicks in and says, sorry, you better not do that, it's messing up your intuition deep down, what your soul wants. So it's messing with that, and it's making you question whether or not you can do it. So what do you do about this gremlin, right? What do you do about that inner critic voice that says you just can't do something? Well, first of all, you realize that it's there. That's the biggest thing you can do, is just sit there and go, there's that fear. There's that fear of judgment. There's that fear of failure, that I can't do this project that I want to do. I'm going to fail. And I don't want to fail because that would be so embarrassing, right? So having the awareness that you even have this voice, this inner critic, this little devil on your shoulder, whatever you want to call it, is number one. And then realizing that it's normal, we'll normalize it a little bit, is also important to do that, right? And then secondly, of course, you can get coaching around that. That's what I do. I help my clients every day deal with this voice, befriend it, acknowledge it, and say, oh, there you are again. Give it a name even, and say, okay, I see you. I know where you come from. You come from whatever, your mother who told you that you'd never be able to succeed at something. And so you just recognize it, you know where it comes from. And then the way to release this gremlin is really through self-love and self-compassion, and giving yourself that space that you're doing the best you can right now. The mistakes, quote unquote, that you made in the past, you made them based on the tools, emotional tools, intelligent tools, spiritual tools that you had at that time. And that's why I said quote unquote for the mistakes, because you could not have acted differently when you made those occurrences in your life, right? So growing that self-compassion around releasing the things that you did quote unquote wrong in the past, recognizing that you were doing the best you can. And then this will help you move forward with maybe taking a little more risks. Another thing that you can do is practice meditation. Meditation is huge to release, to catch the voice, breathe, and release it. Catch the thought, breathe, be in your body, and release it. I am a huge fan, and also just scientifically, every book I've ever read about mental health, about mindset, every incredibly powerful person on this planet is a meditator, and that's a fact. And meditation will decrease your stress. It will decrease your cortisol level. It will decrease the what I call the reptilian brain, so that you can have access to more of your conscious brain and more of your power. So having that is a super important tool. Exercising is definitely going to help boost your serotonin, your endorphins, all of your hormones that allow you to be again free of the stress in your mind, right? So that's another thing you can do as well. Practicing gratitude is also very, very important. And the other thing that is the most important thing, especially for women. I'm going to say it because society raises people with beliefs. We all have a set of beliefs, like I said earlier, that are like filters on how we see the world. And those beliefs are also associated with that gremlin, that inner voice that tells you whether or not you can do something. And those beliefs can be as simple as girls are bad in math. Or, you know, a little girl should be well behaved, should be seen and not heard. I cringe when I say that because it's BS. But anyways, oh, boys will be boys and they can climb up the curtains and destroy things and it's okay. So there's all these little beliefs that that we think are true and they're not. And as women especially, I like to say, first of all, how true is that? How true is it that girls are bad in math? There's Mary Curie, you know, she did the atomic bomb basically with the split of the atom. And who, you know, who is it serving? Who is that voice serving? And usually, and this is going to be a feministic stance, but you know what? That's fine. It doesn't serve a woman. It will serve a patriarchal society. So I really like to kind of spin that into a bit of a feminist stance for women who feel like they're not allowed to have fun because it's just not serious and they should be taking care of other people. Other people are more important than her children, her husband, her work, her colleagues, So, you know, there's all these beliefs that play around in our minds. And then ultimately we absorb that little inner voice says, no, you see, you should not be having fun. Like why should you be having fun when you have so much to do? You have to take care of the house and everything else. And so I kind of smile at those beliefs because the important thing, again, like I said, is to recognize that it's happening. Because once you recognize that you have those limiting beliefs or that inner voice that is talking to you and telling you you can't do something, it's like the monster under the bed. You shed light on it and then poof, it's gone because it is not real. And once you accept that those beliefs and that voice are no longer serving you, and you can step into your power, then you are no longer gaslighting yourself. And then you are empowered into doing things that you actually want to do. Of course, you're going to experience fear, people. Anytime you try to do something new for the first time, you're definitely going to experience fear. But you will have the ability then to grow as you move forward instead of staying paralyzed and static in the situation you are in right now, whatever that may be, right? So anyways, I thought I wanted to share that with you, that we have a tendency to gaslight ourselves. That inner voice has a way of, you know, telling us that we're not good enough, or we're not smart enough, or we don't deserve love or success. I mean, that voice can be really nasty, people, let's be honest. And recognizing it and using the strategies that I gave you today, and of course, hiring a coach such as myself, my clients are definitely able to release her because my one client has given her inner critic a female name. So you'll be able to acknowledge this inner voice, this gaslighting, manipulative, trying to take control of you. Honestly, that's what it does. It takes control of you. What the heck? No. So releasing that so that you can step into, so you can go from fear and self-criticism and judgment and regret into a place of empowerment and joy, and you're doing the things that you actually want to do and feel that inner peace, right? So anyways, I thought I would just have a little chat with you today, as you are so important to me. Your joy and your fulfillment are number one, and they are my mission as I transition into a new group that I will keep you posted, and it will be called Radiant Woman. And we're going to have so much fun kicking this inner critic. I was going to say it in the balls, but maybe I shouldn't because this is recorded. But you know what I mean. We're going to help you befriend it. We're going to help you release it so that you can step into your power. All right. So you have a beautiful week, you guys. And until next time, take care. Bye.